What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 4 of the Crack Podcast. You may notice something a little different. Reyes, El Capitan, is not with us today, so I had to take the armband and put it on. But I am joined today by the man that was too scared to show up last week, Angel Lopez.
Was not too scared to show up. And I will just say I wish I would have been here so I could keep roasting you guys. Once we show the leaderboard, we will see who is indeed El Capitan, as Reyes has taken that title. But no, it's good to be back. For the listeners, the viewers, life's busy. So I will be popping in and out as these next 2 months go. But then over the summer, your boy will be here to give you all the MLS news from the views of a rookie.
Definitely. We definitely missed you last week. So, like Lopez said, we're going to get started by showing off the leaderboard for our contest going on, just for the weekly picks that we make. And so far, it's looking like Lopez is keeping his lucky streak going.
At what point does it stop being luck, though? At what point, like we are going to pull up these picks. Who picked Seattle ending the winning streak? Who? Fern?
It'll stop being luck once you're last.
Oh, okay, okay.
But as you can see, I have managed to bring myself back up close to the top, matching Reyes' picks. And Lopez, yeah, I'll give it to you, man. You're definitely giving us a butt kicking with those picks. Like you said, that LAFC Seattle game, you were the only one that went against the grain and picked Seattle to win. And then there was another game real quick that I know you also picked, which was the NYFC versus Orlando City, which I feel like those kind of out of pocket picks that you make.
Out of pocket, bro. It was NYCFC's 10th anniversary, and they had to take it at home. You got to look at these little things. You got to look at the little things, bro. But yeah, no, and they brought home the dub, and that was cool on their 10th anniversary.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially with that Seattle pick, it definitely caught me off guard because with the way the LAFC was playing this so far this season, I just thought that they'd have it in the bag. Even though the Sounders are a good team, I just couldn't see them beating them. So I'll tip my hat off to you, and I'll
super high scoring game though.
Yeah, no, it was a very good game. So. What was the score? 5-2. So,
5-2.
Yeah, so it was definitely a good game to watch. But with you being back this week, I just thought, since you're relatively new to soccer, not you know the rules and everything, but you may not be as intertwined to this soccer thing as me and Reyes are. So I just thought I'd bring a couple trivia questions your way and see if you can answer them. They're all MLS related. So I tried to make them not too hard to give you a chance, but we'll see how you do.
Lopez Lessons. Let's do it.
Okay. The first one I have for you is who won the MLS Cup in 2009?
Wait, in 2000 what?
2009.
Some Kansas team, or you're setting me up to say RSL.
I don't know. Do you choose?
All right, give me Real Salt Lake.
It is Real Salt Lake.
Yeah.
I just thought I'm like it's kind of a random year, but I just thought I'd keep it with the home team, see if you got it or not. But we'll go into the next one. I'll give you a point for that. When was the first MLS game played? What year?
Give me 1998.
I am sorry, my brother, but you got that wrong. It is actually 1996. Because 30th year of the MLS. We've talked about it, Lopez. Come on.
I'm sorry. Got to keep up.
You forgot your age, or almost your age. But when I was doing some research for that one, I almost put 93 because the league was technically founded in 1993. But its first game was played in 1996.
It took that long to build the team, like all the different teams.
Yeah, just kind of getting everything ready, like finding out what cities are going to play, where they're going to play, kind of stuff like that. So, and then the third question I had for you was who has the most MLS Cups? I think we've talked about this in the past.
Dang. No, I just want to say LAFC.
You know what? You were close. It was the LA Galaxy. I think LAFC has only been around since 2018 or something
Oh
like that.
no, yeah, you're see, here we go, guys. Come on. I'm the rookie first off. Second off, I'm coming off a 12-hour shift. But that's funny. That's funny.
You probably
Roast
had
me
it
in the
in your
comments. Roast
head.
me in the comments.
You had LA in your head, but I think you just, like you said, that 12-hour shift definitely got you. So,
I'll take.
and then my fourth question I had was, do you know what the biggest stadium in the MLS is?
Is it Atlanta United and the Mercedes Benz?
Yes, it is. It is the biggest stadium in the MLS, and it is the frequently most attended games in the MLS as well, which we talked about
It's
last week.
fun. It's fun. It's a great atmosphere. They have the where all their fans hang out, like that whole
Mm,
section. Like I thought RSL's was pretty cool. Atlanta United, you guys represent. I got to give all the love out to them. They show out.
yeah, yeah, and I'm definitely jealous. I wish I would have made some time to fly out there and see you while you were there. Maybe we'll just have to make an ATL trip one of these days.
Hey, the World Cup tickets, baby, they go on sale
Yeah,
coming up soon.
only $10,000 for nosebleeds. Not too much.
Nah, bro, come on. Are
Yeah,
you telling me that you don't have $10,000 for nosebleeds?
nah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. Neither do I.
What was I was gonna say something about the stadium, but I can't think. If it comes back to my head, I'll let you know. And then I was gonna ask you, do you know what the current format of the MLS playoffs is?
Like the name of the format,
No, like just like how the games are played and like stuff like that, like
because
like
didn't
bracket and stuff like that.
they changed it this year, right?
Last year, yeah.
Or last year, where it's is it best out of three
Mm, yeah, yeah. It's so
essentially?
the first round is best out of three. So whoever wins the first three games makes it into the next round, and then after that, it's single elimination. So you got that right. Um, but I don't know. I still think it's a weird format. I don't understand why make the first game best out of three, and then everything else after that single elimination. I just feel like they're trying to get those games in. So
That's fair. Like,
yeah, because
got to look into that. Yeah,
I'm just like I don't. I feel like they're trying to Americanize things a little bit too much. Like basketball, game sevens, stuff like that. So
mm.
we'll see. But then the next one I had for you is: do you know what the designated player rule is? Some people have called it the Beckham rule.
I'm not even gonna try and guess right now. I have no
No,
idea.
you're good. That one was a bit of a hard one, but I just thought, with you being a little bit new and this being called Lopez Lessons, I thought we'd learn a little something. So yeah, so basically the designated player rule, it was. I won't say the year because that was the next question. It was introduced to the MLS because the MLS is one of, like, I don't know if it's the only one. I can't 100% say it's the only soccer league with a spending cap, but they have a spending cap, um, and they kind of made this designated rule for the teams to be able to have three players maximum, where you can pay them basically as much as you can without it going towards your salary cap. So if you,
That's right. You guys did tell me this. I think before we even started the podcast, or was it episode one? I don't know, but you can roast me if I did forget.
yeah, yeah, I think we may have talked about it, but yeah, I just thought, that's, and they call it the Beckham rule because it kind of was introduced around his time, because people are like, oh, how do we get more players to come in? Because like, people come from Europe and they're making so much money, then they come to the MLS America, and they have a certain amount of money they can spend, and if you spend that much money on one player, your entire team's done. So I feel like that's a very good rule. um, and then I guess that brings me to my last question: was, do you know when the designated player rule was introduced?
2006.
Oh, nice guess. It was 2007. You're off by 1 year.
Damn.
So, but yeah. So yeah, it looks like you got 3 points.
Unfortunate.
So yeah, three out
Bwah,
of
bwah, bwah,
three
bwah.
out of seven. It's okay. You're still passing. We'll curve your grade. Don't worry about it.
I'll take
Unfortunately,
it.
you're the only person, so there's not much of a curve. But yeah, so yeah, that so then that kind of just brings me to my next thing about about the designated player rule is we kind of want to talk about the GAM, aka the general allocated money that some of the teams have because the Philly soccer page posted an article kind of how much general allocated money each team has. And I just thought we could kind of take a look at it and see what kind of interesting things we can see from it. So right here I have every team's amount left and split the special player model stuff. So do you see anything interesting on there you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think it's important to highlight, right? CFC leads the league, having $4.2 million in GAM. They can
Mhm.
make some pretty big moves. I was looking at this article that Rhea shared with us before the primary transfer window closes on April 23rd. So NYCFC having a like no like they're having a pretty good season so far.
Yeah, they're ninth in the league. They're 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss, so it's not a
So
horrible start, but yeah.
yeah, things could look up more for them, but like, hey, they have the money to bring on a couple more, some new talent. So
Yeah.
that I think that's pretty neat. And then also San Diego FC, Minnesota United, Houston Dynamo, and RSL also have significant GAM reserves, but they also need to make some moves pretty quickly, from what I understand, and I could be understanding that incorrectly. Just they have to use that $2 million there, the extra $2 million
Yeah.
before that window closes. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you that they just got to use it before then, and then just kind of piggybacking off you. We were talking about how I was honestly surprised how high up Inter Miami is on this list with the amount of players or like big players that they have, like Messi. Because they've been playing pretty good, and they still have a good amount of money to add players in certain areas that they're missing right now. I feel like they've been doing pretty good. Um, but the one team that for sure has no room for improvement is the LA Galaxy, starting off the season, I think, defeated. Yeah, they haven't won a single game, and they have no money to work with all the struggles they're having right now. Like, I'm surprised, even like looking back to myself, like thinking like, oh, they're gonna be still top contenders, because we talked about they got rid of their top scorer, they lost their best midfielder, and stuff like that. And even looking at this now, I'm like, oh, well, and now they have no money to help improve their squad. They're kind of just stuck at what they have. So I'm curious as to see how they improve their team going into the future.
And help me understand a little bit more if you know the answer. Like, how does the
Mhm.
team, like, do they just have to make more sales to get more GAM? Like, they just got to pack the stadium, or what? Like, how is it just like business where people come and invest in these teams and hoping to make a return? Like, what does that look like?
Honestly, I think I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that it should just it's like money they have allocated at the beginning of the season that they're able to like spend. Yeah, see, and they just use that money to spend throughout the season, or I guess up until April 23rd, and that's how they're able to bring players in. Because if I'm not mistaken, you can trade a player to be able to get some GAM back. Because like most of the time in soccer, outside of the U.S., you trade a player for a player. But here within the season, the MLS, you can trade a player to get money into your GAM that you can use to spend on another player. So
And so it's like a team paying you money.
pretty much, yeah. They're basically just like, here, take some of our money, and I'll take your player. Because maybe they're like, oh, you don't have any player on your team that I want, but you can give me some money so I can go out and get somebody that I do want. sort of that. So yeah, it helps teams. I guess it's a nice way of thinking it, of like being like, oh, why it helps like other teams that maybe don't have, like, let's say New York City FC doesn't have any quote unquote good players or players that anybody in the league wants, but they have the most amount of gam. They're like, you know what, I'll give you this much for your player, and if they're like, okay, yeah, we'll take it, it kind of helps teams be more competitive in the trades instead of just being like, they don't have anybody, why would I trade with them? But maybe they have a lot of gam, so.
Hey, man, and I think so. Is that what leads to players like Griezmann coming to the MLS? I know that Reyes highlighted that as well in his notes, but um, but yeah. So that then begs the question. Then, like, do you think we're going to see any big names coming, or any high profile signings from like Miami, St. Louis, some of these teams who have a little bit more gam, sitting on millions of gam actually?
um You know what? I don't think by April they'll have anything going on, because a lot of the teams, unless there's like another league, because I don't know if you know this or not, but the MLS has kind of a weird schedule, because when the a lot of the when they end their season, a lot of teams are still kind of like halfway through their season or towards the end of their season, and then when they start their season, the season has already been going on for however long. Because so what is this, the fourth week of the MLS going on right now, and like the other leagues, like Barcelona, they're already um 28 matches in, 26 games played into their season, so that's 26 weeks worth of football. And I think the way they make it work is, once the European teams end their season and they enter their summer transfer window, the MLS allows players to come in during that time, because the European people won't let you sell somebody in the middle of the season, stuff like that. Like, they have designated spaces where you can trade people. The only time that you can do it outside of that space is if there's like injuries, where you're like, oh, I have two goalies, both of my goalies are injured, I need a goalie, and they're like, okay, we'll let you go out and get a goalie. So and
Well,
yeah.
that makes a lot of sense then. So I had no idea that that's how it worked and how that all plays into one another. Um, and that just makes me think, all right, then will we see one of these teams with a lot of GAM take Messi now that he's injured? I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, and yeah, like, what is this, third game in a row that he's missed? Could possibly be a fourth game on Thursday. At first, I was kind of just like, oh, typical resting, stuff like that. And then Reyes also put in our notes as, because he's out for the week, but he feels like maybe it's a Christian McCaffrey type deal, where, you know what, they're hiding something from the teams, because, as we talked about, Inter Miami sells tickets. They make a lot of money just because Messi is attached to them, and they don't want to lose that revenue. So he's thinking there might be a little bit more to the situation. I think if he doesn't play Thursday or these next coming weeks, there may be something that they're not telling us, because it's kind of weird for the best player in your team to miss out 4 games in a row when the season just started 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I hoping for the best. I know, Fern, you're a big Messi guy. Don't want to see a legend. Like, I gotta give respect where respect is due, and Messi is one of the greats. Um, but it would be a shame if they are hiding something. But I agree, there is too much incentive to hide information from the general public that would be disadvantageous for all of these other teams too. Because, like you said, like, it doesn't matter if they're home or away, Messi's going to sell tickets.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen something like this, or it's just weird to me, regardless of whether you're going to sell tickets or not. Like, just tell somebody like, oh, they're injured, and save all these fans the trouble of spending all this money, and not even being able to see the Messi play or stuff. Like, Inter Miami is a really good team. I love watching them play with or without Messi. I prefer with Messi, because that's my favorite player of all time. So I'm gonna enjoy watching it. But I just enjoy watching soccer in general. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how this week plays out. They play that team. I don't know where that team is from, but they play the Champions Cup tomorrow. So we'll see if he's in the lineup. And if he's not in the lineup, we'll have something to talk about next week and kind of start speculating, seeing what's wrong with him. Maybe he's pregnant or something. That's why they're not letting him play.
Oh, oh man, you gotta hope something like that's going on. He's gonna be out for 9 months versus the rest of his
Yeah,
career.
yeah,
Telling you, man, at the beginning, you got to go back and clip it. The retirement home of the MLS is Inter Miami,
yeah.
and things like this are going to happen. And it's unfortunate, but these players, like, they're getting old for the game.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because I mean, you did say it. They are old. I think they're all pretty close to hitting their 40s. So, I mean, that's not old per se, but when it comes to sports, that's definitely old.
Yeah,
So he's probably feeling something he hasn't normally felt in his life. And even I feel like this schedule isn't so congested to be like, oh, like I need to miss these games, because I've been talking smack about Suarez, and it just looks like it hurts him to run. He's older than Messi is, and he's played every single game, which I get he plays like the striker role, but even if you watch Messi play, he's just kind of walking around the field, so it's not like he's exerting a lot of force or anything. So we'll see how it goes. I was thinking maybe with the Club World Cup coming up, he's kind of wants to rest, but that's 3 months away still. So there's no point in trying to rest for that. And then Reyes last 2 weeks ago said he was thinking they wanted to win the Champions Cup, and they were resting him for that, because sometimes you see that in soccer where
mm.
let's rest our players this game because maybe this game's not as important because we have a game in 3 days that's more important. But he's missed for both the Champions Cup and the MLS, so there must be something going on that they're not telling us. So
knock on wood,
yeah,
and we'll see what happens, man. We'll see next week what we're going to be talking about. Either we see him or we don't.
either he plays or I burn my jersey.
Damn.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I think we should probably get into talking about who our cracked players of the week were last week, and our crack team of the week. And we did kind of add a bit of a thing. I don't know if it'll be consistent or not, but we did have a pour one out for team where I think last week I had the LA Galaxy as my game of the week just because they got I don't want to say the word, but yeah, they got destroyed. So well, if you want to, you can add something like that. But for the player of the week, we're gonna start off with Angel Reyes's pick. So he decided to pick Albert Rusnak as his player of the week. Um, he had 2 assists and 1 goal. In a win for. Give me 2 seconds. I need to be better at this for the Sounders. Your special team. So yeah, so he definitely deserves player of the week for that, for
Yeah,
taking
him.
down LAFC.
Oh, man, that whole team, you're going to see it in my cracked player of the week. That whole team was instrumental. We have Paul Rothrock, Albert Rusnak, and then Kehlani Kosa Rienzi. Going to have to get better at my names. But 5 different players scored goals for Seattle FC. Like, how crazy is that? Right? Like, I want to make sure I'm
Yeah,
not just like saying that. Like, it
yeah,
looked like 5 different players scored goals. They're all
yeah.
instrumental. Albert definitely stuck out there with the 2 assists. So got to give it to Reyes. That's a
And
solid pick.
and he didn't even start the game. He came in the 36th minute, so he came in and tore it up. So
That's so
Um,
cool.
yeah, definitely. Ferreira had an assist there, so it looks like he'll start picking up the pace a little bit going forward. He's one of the players that I thought would be doing pretty good. And for me, for my player of the week, I kind of went somewhere a little bit different since we're most of the time picking, attacking players and stuff like that. I thought I would switch it up a little bit and pick Roman Berkey for his performance
Ooh.
against the LA Galaxy. So he's the goalie for St. Louis. Um, and let me get some stats for you for him because I was looking at the stats for this game because I didn't watch it, and stats don't always tell the full story. You got to watch the game to see how it went. But the LA Galaxy had 23 shots, 23 total shots, and that is an insane amount of shots to have coming your way. Because yeah, 23 of them, they had 23 shots. 8 of them were on target, and I believe Roman Berkey had 8 saves. He saved every single shot. And yeah, he was player of the match for the game, and he's player of the week for me just because I feel like he was very instrumental to that win. Because it seems like the LA Galaxy were trying to win. They were shooting at the goal. They were trying to score goals, but Roman Berkey is definitely a wall, and he kept all those goals out and kept St. Louis up ahead. So
Channeling his inner Memo Ochoa.
Memo Chua.
Gotta give love to the keepers, man. That's no great call out. I was convinced you were going to probably choose Tadeo in Inter Miami with that lone
Yeah.
goal, but over Charlotte FC. But
I
uh,
definitely
love it.
I definitely had a hard week this week trying to pick somebody that wasn't Inter Miami because there was definitely not many highlights for that game, but we can talk about that later. Let's go on to your player of the week.
My player of the week, being a rookie myself, gotta love the underdog. Coming from the Sounders affiliate Tacoma Defiance team, Keilani Kosa Rienzi, who I mentioned a little bit earlier, having his debut match on the Seattle Sounders team. 22-year-old midfielder scored his first MLS goal. One of the five. Gotta give him love. Shout out to the rookies out there. And I'm gonna be keeping an eye out for this guy. So that's my crack player of the week.
Yeah, good picks, good picks. Yeah, I feel like um as we go on, we'll start learning more about these players and we'll kind of see them, more and more throughout the weeks. Because I was also looking, you had for Cincinnati, Denke was one of the players you had on watch. And even though it was a penalty, he's still converting them and he's staying on the score sheet. So I feel like the Golden Boot race is looking pretty nice. I believe there's like 5 people with 3 goals and the top scorer. Yeah, let's see. There's 6 people with 3 goals fighting for the Golden Boot, with Baribo for Philly being number one with 6 goals. So he's 3 goal or 5 goals. He's 2 goals ahead of everybody. So we'll see how that goes. I'll
Dang.
keep an eye out on the Golden Boot race and start giving our player of the year shouts halfway through the season. I already have mine, so
Yeah.
um go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, were we going to also do the crack team of the week
Yep.
as the next one? All right.
Yeah. You can go for
Sweet.
it if you want.
I'm going to take it. So you can't steal the one that Reyes and everybody else is probably going to call out this week. Come on, man! You're ending the win streak. You got it. I was the one that called it. I was the one that called it. Remember the name. Seattle Sounders ending LAFC's unbeaten streak in a commanding performance, 5-2 at Lumen Field. Had goals from I got all the names here. I already mentioned Kelani, Paul, Jordan, Morris, General Dunn, and Albert Rusnek, securing that victory for Seattle. And then my pour one out of the week, just since I'm already on it, LC losing their winning streak. Always got to pour one out for the boys.
Yeah, no, definitely. On that was I don't even know what to say. I'm just gonna assume that you are freaking swindling us and you actually research the MLS on your free time because I honestly, for the life of me, I would not have picked the Sounders, which I didn't. But yeah, no, that was definitely a good game for them and definitely a statement piece for the rest of the league to let them know that they're one of the teams that they need to look out for. Um, and mine is kind of similar to yours. I also went with winning streak ending with the San Jose Earthquakes and Minnesota, because San Jose has just come in and they were beating every team by more than one goal. Or no, I guess they beat Sporting Kansas City by one, but they were just coming in and bulldozing teams, outplaying everybody, and I was honestly surprised to see them lose. Especially with the amount of shots that they had on, or amount of shots that they had 17 shots, which is not very good when you look at how many of them were on target. They had 17 shots and only one of them was on target, which is a crazy stat. They're just shooting everywhere but at the goal. They were just trying to stat pad their shots. But and then kind of on the flip side, because they had 73% of the ball. So they basically had the ball the entire game, sorry. And yeah, Minnesota came in, had 10 shots, six of them were on target. So they had over 50% of their shots on target. And that's what matters. You can have 40 shots with one shot on target, but if you're not getting them on target, you're not going to score. And Minnesota definitely came in and stole that win from them. So that's my um, game of the week. And I honestly don't have a pour one out for this week, so I won't even try and give you one. But while we're here, I'll give you Angel Reyes's.
Gotta give, and
Since
also a quick shout out to Reyes calling out San Jose from the very beginning, episode 1, as a team to
mhm,
look out for as contenders. So you can't win
yeah,
them all, but like
yeah,
they're still
yeah,
undeniably came out strong.
yeah, they look really good because I remember he said that they were one of the teams to look out, and I believe last year they were bottom or close to bottom, so I didn't believe it, and just to see him come in, kind of the opposite of the LA Galaxy, they ended up on the top and now they're at the bottom, and the switch, man, it's I don't know what it is. Some teams come in extra motivated. Maybe those extra players that they add just add something to it. So yeah, I'm excited to continue watching the San Jose Earthquakes and see what they do. These LA teams or not LA, sorry, these California teams for some reason just come in and start bossing everything around. Maybe there's something in the water out there for sure. Because San Diego FC also has been doing pretty good. They've been tearing it up. They unfortunately took out our home team 3-1. So I don't know if that's more of a San Diego being good or just RSL choking like they normally do. So
Could be a
um,
little bit of both.
yeah, but yeah. So it looks like Reyes also went with the Seattle Sounders for taking down the undefeated LAFC. He just thinks a lot of players stepped up with Rusnak being his player of the week. That makes sense, and it's hard to not pick that as your game of the week, taking down an undefeated team in the way they did. So, um, and then his pour one out was FC Dallas for losing in the last 9 minutes of the game and missing a PK. So, I
Oh,
think, yeah, yeah, it
did not
sounds like
catch that one.
it was not a very good freaking game for them, but I don't mind it. I had the Chicago Fire winning that game anyways, so yeah, I don't mind it too much. But unfortunately, Reyes isn't here to say more. But it's okay. Nobody wants to hear him talk. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Reyes. I have to do it when they're not here. I have to throw my shots because I won't do it when they're here, huh, Lopez?
No, yeah, you gotta get those shots in. I gotta go listen to last week's episode now because of knowing that you were talking mess.
It's okay. I didn't say anything crazy. I may have deducted 20 points from your weekly picks this week, but it's okay.
It's all good. I'm still gonna be up.
Yeah, definitely. But let's go into picking our picks for this coming week. Let me see.
Gotta get the soundboard going of the picks of the week.
Yeah, we got to get some stuff going. I am new to this. This is my first time in the driver's seat, so if things seem a little bit slow or mismanaged, you can blame me.
We're missing El
I'll take that.
Capitan.
Yeah, just like the freaking Akon song says, even though the blame's on you, you can put it on me. I'm just kidding. um, but yeah, okay. Let's start with the first game of the week. It looks like it's Orlando City versus the New York City Red Bulls. Is there a specific team between these two that you think will win, or are you thinking a tie?
Oh no, give me the New York Red Bulls to win.
The New York Red Bulls, yeah.
Yes, sir. I like them this week.
Yeah, last week I picked them to win as well, and they did get a draw. Um, I like the way the New York Red Bulls play, and I I don't have too favorable of an opinion for Orlando City. I did pick them to win last week. I need to keep this stuff on my mind, but I'm definitely going to New York Red Bulls this week, and Reyes is picking Orlando City. So, no, there's only one good Miami or Florida team, and it's not Orlando, I'll tell you that much. And going on to the next game, we have Toronto FC versus Chicago Fire. Who are you thinking, Lopez?
Give me Toronto FC. If it's not going to end in a tie, it's going to go to the Canadians.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like Toronto. I'm not gonna lie. I had I had them picked as my upset to win the MLS Cup, or one of the teams not likely to win it that I think could win it, and I definitely made a mistake there. So I'm gonna go with Chicago Fire, and Reyes is also gonna go with the Chicago Fire. And then we're going to move on to the losers of last week, Los Angeles FC and Austin FC. They are both coming off a loss from last week. Who do you think will win this one?
Ah, man, I just give me Los Angeles, man. Give me LAFC. They're going to be coming with a fire under their butts. While it was a rough loss,
Mm,
I think they're just going to come out hot and show them that they just had an off game, or
yeah.
it could be that Seattle just showed out, or it could be both. But I like Los Angeles for this one.
Yeah, I think I'd also go with Los Angeles. I just feel like they have a better team than Austin FC. It's not a shame to lose to the Seattle Sounders with the team that they have. So I just feel like they were outplayed this last week, and they're definitely not going to get outplayed this week. So I'm going with Los Angeles FC, and Reyes is also going with Los Angeles FC. And going into the next game, Cincinnati won their game last week, and Charlotte FC lost their game. So who do you think this week?
Oh man, I was reading an article just on FC Cincinnati's defense having struggled a little bit recently. Like, um, all in all, oh man, I want to this one. My gut, I got to go with my gut. I want to pick Charlotte to win this one. Want to say Cincy, but I don't know. My gut's just pointing me Charlotte's direction. Wish I could say more, but let's just go with it.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like Charlotte FC is a pretty good team. So I wouldn't be too ashamed of that. I am gonna go with Cincinnati though. I feel like they have been playing a little bit better. Maybe as Zaha gets a couple more games and he's gonna get a bit more rhythm going and start clicking with his team a little bit more. But for now, I'm gonna have to go with Cincinnati. And I guess Reyes agrees with you, and he's also going with Charlotte. So,
Ooh,
um, and next we're going to DC United and CF Montreal. We're going capital for not capital because I don't think Montreal's their capital. But who do you think?
I don't know, man. The Canadians in the United States have got some beef going right now. We're seeing what these some of these tariffs happening. Uh, Give me this DC United to win though. Home advantage. I think DC United is going to take this one home.
Yeah, I also agree with you. I feel like coming off a 2-0 loss to your in-country rivals is not a very good show. And DC United has a very good team. Any team in the MLS that has Benteke has to have a good chance to win, especially against Montreal. And it looks like Reyes is also going DC United, so we're all We're all going DC.
First one, we're all in agreement.
Yep. And then next one, New York City FC, the GAM champions versus the New England Revolution. Who are you thinking on this one, Lopez?
Give me the game champions. I want New York City FC.
Yeah, New York City looked pretty good. So this one is a tough one for me because I kind of want to, follow the champion of our picks, but I'm also not sure. So I think I am going to go with New York City FC just because they've had a better start to the season than the New England Revolution. And Reyes also agrees with you, so he's going to also go with New York City FC. And next we're going to the champion, Giant Destroyers, Minnesota United versus Sporting Kansas City. For this one, I think I'm gonna go with Minnesota United, just kind of because they're coming in with that confidence of we just beat one of the undefeated teams, one of the better teams in the league right now, and Sporting Kansas City also hasn't looked the best, so I'm going with Minnesota.
This one's one where I just don't feel strongly one way or the other. If I could just say, yeah, they're going to draw, and you can come back to this. But if I have to pick a winner, I think that Minnesota United is going to be coming off that high that you just mentioned, and they're going to be bringing that energy, and it will carry.
Yep, and Reyes is going with Sporting Kansas City, so he seems to not know what he's talking about.
I was gonna pick Sporting Kansas City just because their fan base once upon a time was like what Atlanta United is today. They had like a pretty good formula to getting people to their stadium. I had one of the people like come and speak in one of my classes when I was like doing marketing, and they talked about how like they worked really hard to build their fan base, but I don't know if that's still the case today. But there's your little fun fact.
Fun fact: the Chiefs took all their fans, unfortunately. And then we have FC Dallas versus the Vancouver Whitecaps. I liked the way the Vancouver Whitecaps played last week, and FC Dallas seems to. I don't know if the way they played last week is going to affect them at all, but I think I'm going to have to go with Vancouver on this one.
On this one, when it comes down to it for me, and I don't feel strongly one way or the other, I look to the home team. So in this case, give me FC Dallas.
Ooh. I might have to switch my pick now because Reyes also went for Vancouver. Just kidding. I will stick with Vancouver for this one. And next, the biggest disappointments versus
Bro, it has to change
Real
at some
Salt
point.
Lake.
I will remain delusional. Give me Real Salt Lake. Just kidding. And I don't even think that it's delusional at this point. Houston Dynamo is a realistic win for Real Salt Lake. They need to get out of the slump. Get me RSL. I want to keep putting faith in the boys, and call that me following my heart and not my brain. But yeah, I think they have a chance against Houston.
Yeah, Houston hasn't started off the best. It looks like they have one draw and two losses. So this is it's going to be the same thing every week. I don't know whether to trust them or not. You said who did you go for? Sorry.
I picked RSL. Like it has to change for them at some point. I got to keep following the heart and.
Yeah, because that's exactly who I was gonna go for is RSL. I just feel like
trust me, I know.
Relationship. So
have like everything in my brain is telling me to go and pick Houston in this. I can't go against the boys. I think that's bad juju.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm gonna have to go with RSL on this one too. And Reyes is also in the toxic relationship with us because he also picked RSL. And now we're going into last week's monsters? I don't know what to call them, but they just showed the league something. So versus my player of the week.
Yeah, Roman Brky, man. That's an interesting matchup. Now that you called him out, I'm like,
Yeah, so who do you think will win this one?
I wanna say Seattle. I'm gonna go with the mind here. Give me St. Louis City. Roman Berkey will be able to tame the Seattle Sounders attackers. We will see over 20 shots on goal, not 20 shots on goal, 20 shots, 10 on goal, and this man's gonna let one go through. I'm getting that specific, but yeah, no, give me St. Louis.
Okay, I'm gonna keep you to that. If not, I'm taking 10 points off your week's pick. So
And if
I'll
I'm
make it
right, you owe me
20.
the guy that freaking makes salt run off of his forearm before going on a
Salt
steak.
Bay. Yeah, Salt Bay.
Salt Bay throwback.
um, yeah. See, I have kind of the similar thought process you're having. I'm like, we just watched Seattle just dominate LAFC, so I'm kind of tempted to go Seattle Sounders as well. And I could be wrong, but I'm gonna have to go with my boy Roman Berkey and just hope that he pops off like he did this week. And Seattle's, or not Seattle, sorry, St. Louis, forwards can get some momentum going, get some goals in, get one or two in. I don't want to call it a draw, but I'm gonna have to go with St. Louis on this one. And Reyes is going Seattle. He saw what they did last week, and he does not want to go against them. So we'll
Makes
see how
sense.
that goes.
Can't hate on that decision.
Yeah. And then next, we're going to San Diego FC versus the Columbus Crew. On this one, Columbus is a very good team, and I've been saying from the beginning they're one of the good teams. I feel like San Diego FC is they're a decent team. They've started off 2 wins and I believe 1 loss. So they're doing pretty good, but I would like to say that the one time they played a good team, they didn't win. So I'm gonna have to go with Columbus Crew on this one.
See, oh man, this is I'm giving away too much of my process here. San Diego looks good at home. Like this season, if you look at their home games, Seattle FC's been looking pretty good. They're going to be taking on Columbus Crew, I believe, at home. Yes. Um, and I don't know, man. San Diego, call it like again. We said like they're the new kids on the block. They could be that they just like are having that lucky streak and things are looking good for them. But hell, like I'll ride that streak with them. Give me that San Diego FC as my prediction, baby.
Yes, sir. I'll take. You can take that one, and let's see. Looks like Reyes is also going with the Columbus Crew, so we'll see. We'll see how this week ends up. I'm scared of you, Lopez. I'm just gonna start following all your picks. I don't care whether they're right or wrong. You can't get more points than me.
No,
So
I watch. This is gonna be the week where I end up in dead last next week, and I'm gonna be like down by 4 points or something crazy, and I'll be like, well, gotta change up the strat now. But
yeah, no, definitely. So now we're going with San Jose Earthquakes and the Colorado Rapids. For this one, I'm just gonna make it easy. I'm gonna go with San Jose. I just feel like last week they got very unlucky to lose, um, and I just don't see the Colorado Rapids doing much to them. So
you glazed the San Jose Earthquakes more than the Krispy Kreme donut. That I can't go against them, man. Let's go with San Jose.
yeah, we're all San Jose fans here apparently because Reyes is also going for San Jose,
That was his
and
pick,
that's
man.
all. Yeah, those are all the matches for this week.
Oh,
Because or
there's the
not, sorry,
Sunday
not this
matches.
week, for Saturday. Yeah, for Saturday.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure Reyes is just going to be picking San Jose the entire season. He's just going to let us know about the fact that he had them coming in
And
and just
Toronto's
carrying
gonna
the
come in
weight.
and take it out of nowhere, baby. And then you're gonna be like, "Yeah, I called
Yes.
it."
Yes, sir. No, don't worry, bro. The season just started.
Oh
They
yeah,
can have three losses and 27 wins. It's fine, undefeated. But the next game we have coming is Philadelphia versus Nashville. Who are you going for with?
easy pick for me. Yeah, give me Philly. They've been looking really good. They've had some pretty high scoring games. Um, yeah, give me Philly.
Yeah, this should be a really good game because I think Nashville is one of the better teams in the league, and Philadelphia has been popping off this season. So this is a hard one for me, but I think I'm gonna have to go with you just because Philadelphia has been playing so well. I'm gonna go with Philadelphia. And Reyes is also picking Philadelphia on that one. So, oh. See, I'm not used to being the coordinator in this. I was waiting for somebody else to talk after that.
I got you.
Uh,
Coming up next. I'm gonna go Portland. I'm in Portland Timbers versus LA Galaxy. LA's not looking good, boys. Bernie called it out earlier. It's looking bad. They don't have any money.
They need
Um,
Gam.
they need some gam. It's looking like it's going to be a pretty rough season for any LA Galaxy fans out there listening to this. But give me Portland Timbers. They're at home. LA hasn't been looking good. Could end up as a draw on this one, but like I'm leaning Portland.
Yeah. This one's so hard for me because I want to say Portland hasn't been playing very well, but they have a win and LA Galaxy doesn't. Um, I just feel like you said with RSL, at one point they just got to turn it around, and I just feel like this week is the week. So I'm gonna
Fair.
have to go with the LA Galaxy this week, and Reyes is also going with the Galaxy. And now for
Hey!
the for the granddaddy of the week, it's
Oh, I know who Fern's going for.
ATL. I don't know. This is a hard game to pick, man. I don't know who to
Let
pick.
me make it easy for you. Atlanta United. We were just talking about how um, Inter Miami has a pretty congested schedule, right? Messi, we don't really know what's going on. He could be pulling Christian McCaffrey. Um, and pretty deep into the season, he's going to come out and say, like, oh, I sprained something or I hurt something, or he's been way more hurt than they let on. Um, Atlanta United is looking really good. We knew that they were going to look good coming into the season. They have a really strong home record. And then, um, like you already called out, right? Like there's a lot of commitments for like Messi and some of
Mm.
Inter Miami's players. So give me
Oh.
oop, Atlanta United. Hopefully I'm back. Hopefully I didn't cut out for too long, but I saw my camera freeze at some point.
Yeah, no,
How much did you
cut out
lose?
for a little bit, but you're no, not too much, not too much.
All
It
right.
was
All
only
I'm
like
saying is
2 seconds.
Inter Miami's busy. Atlanta United's looking good. Give me ATL.
Yeah, so for me, this is a tough one. I'll tell you right off the bat. Ray has picked ATL as well, and I am not picking ATL. I'm picking Inter Miami to win this. Um,
I hope you like the
although,
bottom of the leaderboard.
yeah, this is it's kind of a
Give me your
revenge
reasoning.
game.
Okay.
It's a revenge game. Inter Miami lost to Atlanta United in the playoffs in the first round of the playoffs last year. I believe they had they didn't have the bye because they had to play the 3 games. But they played Atlanta. They played good the first game, and then I don't know what it was, but this is kind of turning into a rivalry game. ATL versus Inter Miami. I feel like it's always a really good game. Atlanta United has a really decent team, and anytime you're playing them at home, which are they playing them at home this
Yeah, Atlanta's at home.
yeah, see, so I'm still picking Inter Miami. I don't care. All the fans can show up. I don't care. They're not playing the game. And if Messi plays, I'm picking them to win. I just feel like they have a kind of a chip on their shoulder. You're like, you know what? We were the best team of the regular season last week, and we lost to a team that barely made the playoffs, or they lost to a team that barely made the playoffs. I feel like they have something to prove. I'm gonna give the score prediction of 6-1 Miami.
6-1.
6-1 Miami.
All right.
I'm
Settle down.
I'm
Settle down.
I'm calling it right now, man. I'm telling you, they're coming. They're coming.
You're dead ass.
So yeah.
Oh, all right.
And if I'm not right, then I'll quit the podcast.
No, if you're not right, however many goals they don't score is how many more we subtract from your points on the leaderboard.
Oh, I'll take it. No, I don't.
No, we're good.
Oh, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so that's
Amazing.
all the games for this week. Hopefully I get a bunch of picks right because I definitely need to make it to the top of the leaderboard because I do not want to be last. Even though there's only 3 of us, being last is not where you want to be. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. It's probably a bit shorter.
No, we made it. We made it to an hour.
Yeah. And then Reyes might be gone next week too. We'll see. But maybe in a couple weeks you'll see all 3 of us together again, hopefully. No promises. I know you guys want to see all of us. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Keep an eye out for the weekly picks on the Instagram. We'll post the graphic with all our picks again this week. If you didn't see last week's, go take a look at it. Is there anything you want to say, Lopez?
Messi's injured. It's going to be a rough season for Fern. And go ATL, go RSL. I didn't pick Seattle, but they were looking good this week. Go Seattle. All right. No, that's it.
Okay. All right. See you guys.
See y'all.